Hi everyone, welcome to Boston New Technology HealthTech Startup Showcase. Who's ready to see some awesome startups? Everybody, of course, that's why you're here. Awesome. So I'm Chris Rakenna, lead organizer for BNT, and I would like to hand it right over to Foley Hoag to welcome y'all.
Hey everyone, thanks for coming out tonight. The weather outside is wonderful.
Who are you?
What was that?
Who are you?
Yeah, no. My name is Prithvi Tanwar. I'm a partner here at Foley Hoag. I work specifically with early and growth stage technology companies. I'm one of the guys here who kind of works with entrepreneurs pretty much through the entire company's life cycle. One of the reasons I look like this is because we're working through a couple of exits, all good stuff, but stressful. I'll be around later today, and if anybody has any questions, please just come and ask. But really delighted to have all you guys here. Boston New Tech always, puts together a great event, and even on a night like this, to see so many people here is always a great thing. Thanks.
Thanks, Prithvi. All right, so I'm Chris Rakenna, again, lead organizer for BNT, and I'm here with co-organizer Tom Maloney. And if you have any questions or feedback or suggestions, please talk with either of us and we'll help you out. We have all the information you need in the program right here, and we have Wi-Fi, the password's behind you on the walls there. But we would appreciate if you tweet BNT108 hashtag, and you can mention Boston New Tech, and we'll retweet you guys. Especially pictures are great. Any positive feedback or sharing you can do for these startups will be appreciated to get them some good buzz. And each of these startups will get 5 minutes to give a quick overview and demo of their product, and then another 5 minutes to take your questions. So please think of some great ones. And presenters, please repeat those so that we can get them on the video recording. We're live streaming actually on Facebook. Hello to everyone on Facebook, as well as Introvoke. And if you'd like to share the live stream, let people know what you're doing, where you are, just go to Boston New Technology's Facebook page, and you can share it right from there. And all your friends will see these awesome startups. And if you would like to see a recap, you can always go back to our Facebook page or Introvoke and see the presentations again. I'd like to just walk through a few partners that we'd like to thank. So we'd start actually with Boston Headshot.
Thanks, Chris. Hi, I'm Dan. I met a couple of you earlier. We'll do headshots out there. I'm a co-founder of the Boston Headshot, Boston-based company specializing in headshots, branding. We live in a digital age, so it's very important to have an image that best represents you. Whether you're a small business just starting or run a multi-billion-dollar company, we should always look like you run a multi-billion-dollar company. That's how we do it. So if you have any questions, we'd love to talk to you and see what we can do to help you out. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Great headshots. We also have a promotional products partner called Inked that we just want to thank. We actually have a few t-shirts, so we'll give away a few of those to people who tweet photos tonight. But check them out if you have any promotional product needs. And then Chuck Goldstone is actually here as well. Chuck.
Like many of you, I'm intrigued by the passion and great ideas. Got involved in this community because of the great ideas, but I come for the swag. Anyway, let me tell you a quick story. I do a lot of mentoring. I was working with a guy, freebie mentoring, sitting across him. He's trying to explain what he does. And he was about 2 minutes into his pitch, and I finally had to say, here's his name, I won't use his name here, I don't quite get it. He's telling the story from the inside out. He's telling me all the technical stuff that he did, all the stuff that's really fascinating to him. And I finally stopped and I said, I really don't know what you're trying to communicate. And he looked at me, exasperated, because it's probably not the phone. And he threw his pen down and he said, You mentors and investors, you're all such jerks. I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, I'm giving my time for free. And I said, well, what do you mean? And he said, I explain what I do over and over, and none of you get it. The reality is that it is our responsibility to communicate. It's too noisy out there, 23,000, who knows how many companies are out there. You've got to be heard, you've got to remember, you are only your story. So, I will leave you with one piece of information. It is not about what you do, it is the problem that you're solving and the opportunity for other people that you have. Just want to remind people I've got a workshop. My monthly workshop is going to be not it's going to be on December 18th. I've got some slips here with some discounts. Would love to see you. First quarter, we're not going to be doing too many of them. We're opening up, and I can talk to you folks later about this, a 5-week accelerator program in communication and branding. That'll be another thing. But anyway, I look forward to hearing everyone tonight, and hey, whoever this was, thanks for the swag. My glasses will be clean, and I will not have to buy a pen for a little while.
Thanks, Chuck. And I'd also like to thank co-organizer Tom Maloney.
Good evening all, welcome. One of the teaching things I do is I talk about networking. I had the fortunate event Thursday night over at Holt International Business School, talking with some students over there about networking and how important it is for your outcome and the results to be happening. And actually some of the students are here tonight. But building on what Chuck said, I tell people there are 2 things in Boston you need to do to be successful. First, you get to be clear about your story and what you're solving. And the second thing is you need to know how to network. You need to know how to walk into this room and just start a conversation. People aren't out to eat you, they're out to help you. And so present yourself as a person that's willing to take and have a 2-way conversation and connect people. One of the ways I recommend is not to say, what do you do? Ask, what brings you here? It's an open-ended question. And there's more NLP things that we can talk about. I do trainings and seminars. I have one that's really exciting right now called Pre-Startup. And if you want to talk to me about Pre-Startup, I'll be around the rest of the night. And with that, thanks, Chris, for doing this.
Thanks, Tom. And I just want to mention that we're actually looking for a new videography service. So if you do videography or know anyone who's interested in filming our events, that would be awesome. They can email me. My email is also on the program, so you can contact me. And I also want to mention our headquarters actually is at the Yard. It's a co-working space in Hancock Tower, and it's very upscale. They have great services and amenities, and we have an exclusive 1-week trial if anyone is interested in looking for a new place to work. It's a great place to test out, so just go to the link and you'll get the free 1 week. And I specialize in software and app development at CapeStart, so if anyone needs help, just contact me. We'll have also a half hour or more for networking after the event, so hang out and network with everybody. And with that, I think we can just take a second to transition for the first presenter. One moment. Just stand here. Please welcome VIVO.
We are in 2019, and just last year, 12 million people just died from medical errors. And the most majority of that are from cardiovascular disease. In fact, cardiovascular is a very common disease, and 1 out of 4 individuals will die each year in USA. Technology and informations become very complex every year, so physicians and surgeons, they need better technology to improve patient care. So the current technology that they use in cardiovascular space, they do not provide enough and accurate information. So physicians, they have a hard time to diagnose. In VIVO, we not only provide this technology that helps them to better diagnose, but we also help them to reduce medical costs, which specifically in cardiovascular. That is projected to be more than $7 billion in 15 years. So there is a great opportunity for VIVO to create values and also improve patient care in this space. So how does it work? So we provide 2 solutions. We develop the technology by combining augmented reality and machine learning. So the first solution is that we provide visual training. So physicians, so new residents and fellows, they get a chance to see the patient information visually. So they see all the details in advance before trying the treatment in patient. The other solutions is that we provide the VIVO as a diagnostic. Physicians and also surgeons, they can practice operations in advance before doing it in a real patient. So how in more detail, so we gather all this information from MRI and also CT scans. We convert 2D technology to the 3D technology, and then we provide the solutions with our AR, so they can visually practice the simulation and settings, and also with our machine learning also help them to compare the patient disease with thousands of cases. So VIVO mission is to enhance diagnostic accuracy. We want to improve patient care. We want to reduce cost and also increase patient care. So here is a real detail of how it works. We provided 3D technology from MRI and real patient information in a real time. So the market in cardiovascular is very huge, and in VIVO we are targeting the medical education at the beginning, and also gradually we provide the diagnostic and medical device. Of course, other areas of medical like brain, also they can leverage our technologies. Physicians and patients, they're looking for user-friendly and also more accurate technologies. VIVO is unified, they're completely centralized, and we provide better solutions and more accurate in this space. At the beginning, we provide free trials, but we also have 3 different business models based on the number of patients and also size of the market. So we would love to partner with different universities and hospitals, but also we want to showcase our products in different events and conferences, specifically in cardiovascular and medical device. As you can see, VIVO is growing so quick. There is a great market, and we know the competitive landscape. We know how to build a profitable business. So we know how to create values in this space. So for the last month, we developed the first version of our augmented reality in demo, and also currently, and we are so proud that we received great feedback from different mentors and advisors. We are currently developing our MVP. So we have bootstrapped so far, but we have received a great investment from people that we have from the great backgrounds in technology and also science that believe in VIVO vision and wants to improve patient care. And also, of course, advisors, they will support us throughout the day. So we are now in the process of seeking and raising 500,000 with 5% increase. So we have a team, there's a problems, and also we have the proof of concept patented technology. So if you would love to take part in augmented reality and VIVO technology, and if you would love to improve patient care, support VIVO. Thank you. Any questions?
Your company is profitable?
Of course.
It's making money, right?
Currently, we are in early stage. So we are currently in R&D stage, and we are developing our MVP and beta test.
I see. So how many doctors or hospitals, schools is signing in your platform?
So currently we are in MVP, like in R&D stage. So we want to, in the future, once we have our MVP, we would love to partner with different hospitals and universities. Probably in 2-3 months.
So right now there's
Zero.
zero. Okay.
Yes.
Have you done any market research to really figure out if cardiac surgeons have the time to actually even do this before any surgery?
Absolutely, yes. You
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. So she mentioned that have we done any research that make sure that cardiovascular they would love to use this kind of technology, or they would have enough time. So yes, definitely. So we get the chance to talk to more than 20 individuals in cardiovascular space, from physicians, real surgeons, and so this is based on our first like face-to-face research, but also at the same time we did also the general research from Google. But most importantly, we talk to different individuals to make sure it's something that adds value in the long run.
Okay. And they were comfortable with the technology, like seeing the MVP and
Yes, absolutely, yes. So all the problems that I mentioned are coming from them because they do not have this kind of technology like MRI and CT scans. They provide the 2D informations, and they have lots of like problems and blind spot. So mostly it's based on the guessing and assumptions. Thank you.
So you talked to, it was pretty interesting, you talked about selling this sort of on demand, hey, try this 5 times. How do you plug in your thing to their MRI machine to be able to do that?
So we have our individuals separate platforms. But how we get all this data? We get all the data and image data set from MRI. So MRI can connect with us. So like we import informations and data from MRI to our platform. So we do have our own platforms.
So far on your platform, what do you have already been built up? Like internet, what's the infrastructure has been built so far?
So far we do have the demo of our technology separately. So we have the augmented reality separately. We do have the machine learning separately. So and the next step is to combine and have it as a one platform as an MVP.
I see. What's the difference between your platform and regular video conferencing or video sharing? What's the difference?
Well, it's totally different. So our technology will get all this real data from patients, and also they get a chance to, so resident and physicians, they get a chance to visually train and practice in a simulation settings. So the video is something that you don't get a chance to practice. But in augmented reality, you get a chance to practicing in it. So you see the impact.
It's a remote practicing.
No, with your hand. You can practice it in real, like in a very simulation, like this real thing in a real settings.
The real simulation.
Yes, like real settings, yeah. Yes.
Have you done a study where you compare the diagnostic accuracy of your technique versus the existing technique? And if you did, is there a statistically significant improvement in your technique over the standard of care?
Absolutely. So currently, most of the organization or even our competitors, they have one option. They have, for example, machine learning. That but we do have both. We do have augmented reality and machine learning. Like for example, you see the heart of the patients, like visually, like in the image. But also in machine learning, they can show based on all these algorithms and also all these historical image database that we have, so they can show that which area of the heart has, for example, disease number 1. So the accuracy is pretty high, specifically that it is really visual, because most of the time it's based on numbers it gives you, not really the visually or like in a real simulation settings.
One more question.
Yes, and the lady in the,
That's
yes.
right.
Sorry.
Do you have any competitors? If so, how are you differentiated?
Absolutely. So we do have one competitor. We have few competitors as a here, but so we have different competitors, but our advantage is the medical they provide augmented reality is surgical operations. So we combine machine learning and also AR. Our advantage is for that, and also those companies are very cost effective. We know how to provide, we know the competitive landscape and how we can provide cost effective solutions.
Thank you.
Sorry, thank you everyone. Yes, so I will be around and you're welcome to come to me and if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thanks, VIVO. Give us just a second to transition here. So, please welcome Healthynox.
Thanks, Chris. Imagine you can use artificial intelligence to enhance your mood. More precisely, to cure depression, anxiety, and addiction. Anxiety, depression, and addiction are on the rise. Worldwide, over 500 million people are suffering from anxiety. It's almost 2 sizes of the United States population. 63% of all college students suffer from anxiety. If this would be a classroom, all of you would suffer from anxiety. And don't take from me, take from McKinsey. 1 in 5 adults experience a mental illness in their life at least at once. Also, Google searches for anxiety are way up. So what's the solution? We are positioned as a full-service mental health assistant for AI. We help people understand their mental health situation and connect them with the best strategy to transform their life to the better. So how does it work? We have 3 stages. First, identify. So the user gets an assessment where they get evaluated on their risk, if they have anxiety, depression, or addiction. Yes, yes, to which extent. Also, measure. So the user receives analytics on how they perform and how their behavior change over time. And last but not least, advance. So we give them the right strategy, measures to their needs, to transform their life to better. So in the first stage, like I mentioned before, the user gets an assessment. And they get evaluated on 3 kind of stages. The first stage is anxiety, second, depression, and the third, addiction. And after that, they get an evaluation what their symptoms are, and also what indication there might be. The next stage is the meta stage, so people can reflect on their own thoughts of the problem, and can also see how their mood changed over time. Furthermore, the technology also discovers your own personality. So you can really find out what personality type you are, what you like to do, and then you can do what you're good at to get you over the water, come away from depression, anxiety, and addiction. Our third process is the advancement stage. In this stage, the user can connect with therapists and also get resources that are evidence-based. So a lot of technology that's out there right now for the mental health care sector is not evidence-based. We want to change that. And one glimpse into the future, we actually want to make the therapist obsolete, so the user can connect with Alexa or Siri to help come away from depression, anxiety, and addiction. So in terms of market size, it's a $1.9 billion market with roughly 30% annual growth rate. So what is the target market? We want to target universities, schools, and workplaces. Why is that? Well, workers, especially millennial workers and students, don't want to spend a lot of money. And we will do our app on our premium business model. So when they connect with therapists, they actually the school or the workplace paid for the therapist sessions. There's a lot of budget lying around right now that's not being used. So that's one of the technologies universities can actually use to make the workforce or make the student body better. So what's our competitive advantage? Like I mentioned before, we're evidence-based, based on research at Harvard and MIT. Anytime, anywhere. So things you have the app, you can basically connect with a therapist in your work break. Also, you can collect analytics and your behavior will change over time. Connect with therapists in the future, even with Alexa or Siri, to help you overcome anxiety, depression, and addiction. And it's all in one online solution. It not only should enhance your mental behavior, but also your life overall. So in this team, we are currently 5 people. Sven, who did his master's at Edinburgh, got a master's in entrepreneurship and innovation. Bridget, who's our head of clinical sciences, who handles everything from the assessment to the matchmaking process with therapists. And our advisors are Philip Sun, a finance expert from Wharton, and Michael McCarthy, professor at Harvard and Toll Business School. So what we're looking for? We're currently looking for a CTO, preferably someone from MIT, who is or at least involved in the MIT community, partners, funding, and early adopters to get feedback. Thanks so much. Any questions? Yes, please.
Is the app available? I was just looking.
Not right now.
No.
So we're in the MVP stage.
Repeat the question.
So he asked if the app is available, and it's not, because we're still in the MVP stage. Yes, please.
You talked a lot about evidence-based.
Yes.
What makes an intervention evidence-based in your environment?
Yes. So we want to have our technology based on research, right? So we do a lot of surveys, not only like second research, but also very active research. So in the next couple of months, we're going to hire a lot of researchers, especially at Harvard and MIT. Also get someone at least from Harvard Medical School or Yale Medical School who can really do active research to discover, okay, what does really work, what doesn't. And a lot of technology just, what we figured out, is not really helpful at all. So we want to change that.
Can you explain again how the AI has to do with solving anxiety or depression?
Sure, great question. So, the first stage where AI comes into play is an assessment process. So, based on the questions, you get evaluated, okay, how high is the risk level on anxiety, depression, and addiction. And after your evaluation, you get connected with a therapist based on your answers. Based on AI, not from us.
So
And in the future stage, you also can connect with AI in form of Siri or Alexa, who would make the therapist obsolete.
And so AI at this stage has to do with diagnosis or the treatment. What about the treatment?
Yes. So the therapist would currently handle all the treatment. But we could also evidence-based device. Yes, please.
What screening guidelines are you using?
Can you repeat that, please?
Screening guidelines? What kind of guidelines are you using? Using CDC guidelines, or what kind of screening recommendations are you using?
So we do using a lot of guidelines actually developed by our own. So I wouldn't feel comfortable to close it at this point. But if you want to go deeper into that, what exactly theories we are using, then I'm glad to have a discussion over that. So we can yes, please.
You said you want to make therapy obsolete,
Yes.
but a lot of anxiety is loneliness and fear of missing out. So the actual physical connection with a live person rather than an automated.
What's the question?
So the question is, do you really want to make a therapist like obsolete? Sounds like.
Yes.
I guess she was saying to treat the anxiety or depression has to be a human connection.
Yeah.
So yours is AI or computer based.
Right.
So it's kind of deviate from the traditional, or human nature.
Okay.
Is that the correct?
So the first stage, in our first stage, we want to connect the user with the therapist. In the second stage, we want to connect the user with the therapist and the AI. And the last stage, just connecting with the AI, because then it would handle everything in the most positive outcome. Yes, please.
I don't really understand what differentiate your MVP than of current products if you still have the intervention of the therapist.
Okay. Can you name one product who combines all the functions, assessment, matchmaking process with therapists, and also the development of AI?
No, but there are other competitors.
So, like I mentioned before, it's not evidence-based. So if you go into the research, you can really find out if they only do a connection with a therapist, it's not really efficient, because the most that out there is just a chat room, right? But not even a video solution. And that's like the first stage. And also there's nothing that's really involved with AI. So we want to really combine the human perspective with the technology perspective to get a better outcome in the final stage.
One more question.
Okay, one more question. Yes, please.
What evidence do you have that potential customers care about your being evidence-based?
So I just want to keep it short. So our advisory board is doing active research that's based on models at Harvard Business School, or Medical School, and Yale Business School, Yale Medical School, sorry. And we can actually have a discussion after that if you want to go deeper than just don't know how to explain that in just a short time frame.
Thank you.
Thanks, Healthynox. Give us just a second here. Please welcome. Please welcome.
Welcome, TendoNova.
Thank you, Chris, and thanks for the invitation. It's still a hot mic. So TendoNova is a healthcare technology company developing tools to treat chronic tendon pain. There are 30 million people in the United States that suffer from chronic tendon pain. So how many here are joggers, or runners, or tennis players, or soccer players? You will suffer from chronic tendon pain at some point in your life. Repetitive motion injury due to stress on tendons is the first stage is tendonitis, inflammation, healing, and that inflammation is the trigger to the healing response. But if you keep running or keep playing soccer or keep doing what you do that causes that repetitive motion injury, that tendonitis will develop into tendinopathy, and it's a chronic state where the tendon is damaged and will not repair. And you need to fix that. Sometimes physical therapy works. About half the time physical therapy will work, and we would promote the notion of physical therapy. But if physical therapy fails, then you have to have some kind of a tool to address that. So we formed a team. The technology came from Georgia Tech and Emory University. The founders and inventors, and the team of 4 in the middle, were grad students at Georgia Tech, developed this technology largely based on the practice of Dr. Jonathan Shaw. Jonathan is a doctor of physical therapy. He did a lot of work with, trying to make that work. He did a lot of work with Dr. Ken Mountner at Emory University to develop a method to help these patients that were suffering from chronic tendon pain. I was introduced to the team. We formed a company 2 years ago, and we've gone off to develop a solution to address this problem that turns out to be about a $1.2 billion problem in the United States alone. The method that's used today is in a physician's office under ultrasound imaging to take a needle to go through the skin under local anesthetic so it doesn't hurt, but to go through the skin into the tendon and mechanically break up that tissue. The problem with this is it works very well in the hands of a skilled practitioner, but the problem is that there's no feedback method and they really don't know when they're done. So what we've been able to do is take the same technique that's well understood by sports medicine and physical medicine and podiatric medicine physicians, and to essentially automate that technique and to give real-time feedback on how the system is working. So we've taken this method of using an ultrasound image on an Achilles tendon or a patella tendon or shoulder or elbow and disrupt that tissue to trigger that inflammatory response so that you get the healing that the body will normally provide. We've done that with this system. So 3 parts to the system. Single-use disposable that is sterile and would be used to replace the needle that you saw in the previous picture. A reusable driver that is inserted inside the disposable. Under ultrasound imaging, we can go in through the skin, again with a local anesthetic, and mechanically disrupt that tissue. So it's to break up that tissue that you would have normally done by a manual technique. The benefit of this system is that not only do we have an automated way of doing that in a very rapid way that is much better and more efficient than a physician can do, but we also have a method to capture feedback about how that procedure is proceeding. So when the tendon is disrupted and malformed due to this chronic injury, you'll see a high level of resistance in that tissue, and it'll decrease over time as you do the procedure. We provide that real-time feedback, and then we capture that information, store it in the cloud, and allow for feedback of that information. And this is what the presentation will look like. So once the patient is prepared and the physician, under anesthetic and under ultrasound imaging, goes in through the skin into the tendon and starts to break up that tissue, you'll see this decrease in tissue over time. We are a development stage company, currently raising capital and executing on the product program. This is the go-to-market version of the product. We're doing final testing and preparing for regulatory submission. This will be a regulatory submitted product. Thank you. Question?
How much are you raising?
How much are we raising? The current capital requirements yet are about $1.2 million. And that will take us through to break-even point. So that'll take us through scale-up and initial sales into a break-even position.
Do you intend to put this data into the EMR? Do you intend to port this into the EHR?
Question was, do we intend to port the data into the EMR, electronic medical record? Not initially. There's really no template for this kind of measurement, and there's really no information that we're adding that's in a standard format. The other thing that I didn't mention is one of the advantages of our technology is that we don't have to work in a hospital setting. This technique can be applied in an office setting, so rather than being admitted for ambulatory surgery or admitted to a hospital, even as an outpatient, That's not necessary with this technology because the system is simple and low cost and provides real-time feedback. It can be done in an office setting. So it's less likely that there would be a large EMR system in which to integrate.
How much does it cost to do validation and what's the process?
From a regulatory point of view, the validation is simply bench testing. All we have to do is demonstrate that, first of all, we don't hurt anybody. And so this is all there is to the system. It's charged by literally a cell phone charger. It's all self-contained, so it's electrically safe. We simply have to demonstrate that it does what we say it does. That is, doesn't hurt the user and is validated for biocompatibility and is validated for sterilization and packaging and transport, and that it will mechanically break up the tissue. That's the only claim that we'll make. That can all be done in a bench study without any clinical data. So we do not intend to capture clinical data or even animal data or cadaver data before we submit for regulatory clearance. Obviously, we will do all those things when we get ready to go to market to launch the product and provide performance on how effective the treatment is. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
So does this require the FDA approval?
Yes, it would be literally not approved. So the question was about FDA approval. It's literally not approved, but it's cleared for market by the FDA.
Already been cleared?
No, not yet. Not yet submitted.
What's about competitive? You mentioned people who are musculoskeletal. I know
Great question. Competition. So this manual technique of using a needle, that's a competing method. The disadvantage of that is that it's not reimbursed. Effectively, it's not reimbursed. So there's no reimbursement payment mechanism for using a needle to disrupt tissue. There is for performing a tenotomy procedure, which is what we enable with our technique. There are two large commercial systems that are currently on the market. They're $15,000 for the hardware and about $850 per use, compared to $450 selling price for our reusable and $150 single use for our disposable. And even at $150, we can make a lot of money on that device. So we can reduce the cost by a factor of 7 or so, and 6.5, and still have a very healthy profit margin. Great question.
How much better or worse are competitors?
Great question. How much better or worse are competitors? So the manual technique is good in the hands of a skilled clinician, but you need to have a skilled clinician. The large expensive systems, we've not done a side-by-side comparison, but the information that we have and the bench work that we've done, and we've done some work on animal tissue models, is that our performance will be at least as good as those large systems. And so if we can do it as good as they can do it at a sixth of the cost and at an acquisition cost that's very compatible with an office setting, we think that has a strong competitive advantage.
And how much time between now and launch?
How much? About a year between now and launch.
With the clearance from the FDA? And
With everything, yes. Yeah. So as I said, this is the go-to-market version of the product. We have about a year's worth of work to do, and the money to do it, by the way. Money to do it. Question? Great question. Recovery time for the patient. So currently, that's how Jonathan got started with this in his physical therapy practice. Patients in physical therapy will go through this and suffer through physical therapy for 4 months, 6 months. This is a one-time treatment with about a 4-week post-treatment physical therapy course that they would follow. So the results we see when in the manual technique, and again, our medical advisors are the leaders in this area. They are the skilled clinicians that know how to do this. They can get very good results immediately. So patients get anesthetized, local anesthetic, just in the area that's being treated. That treatment is done. The anesthesia, that is the Novocaine, lidocaine, wears off, and the patients are then pain-free. To get back to full function, it takes them probably 4 to 6 weeks of physical therapy post-treatment.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I'll be around for just more questions.
Thank you, TendoNova. So I'd like to just ask everybody to stand up for a second because we're in the middle of our session. Stand up, stretch, and you have one more assignment. Find somebody near you to give a high five and do it now. Awesome, awesome. Thanks, guys. So we're going to take a 5-minute break, exactly 5 minutes. We'll start back up and we'll have the rest of the presentations. The bar is open for a few more minutes and there's more food, but please come right back.
Incubator now, huh? Communication. Really, where are we going?
Yeah.
Because I knew I was going to forget.
If I had a human DB thing, the reason I'm making progress is not the ability yeah, but really, right now, I've gotten to the stage where I just need You know, the thing that really stuck with me was how very simple slides, like how was not distracted. That's great. I mean, once you violate the phrase, violate their concept there.
Once you make them flush 15 times.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I guess that's the latest
Mental. Hey, thanks. Good luck with that. He
Or actually, you can just stay here, but if you want to, I will just leave this way. I don't think it will cause a problem. If there's feedback or something.
So I said, oh.
What brings you here? I guess the question
I still don't know what brings
Yeah, I know. Or something has to be get what it is here for each one of them. Each one of them it has to bring all of those like Steve Jobs did for the biggest issue is trying to get these people together. It's not the software that issue, but it's actually trying to align all these things together and all these things in one. I think that's the biggest
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
Oh, Anthony. Okay, no problem. It's a few Still by
Check. All right, we're about to get started again, folks. Please come back in and grab a seat. Welcome back. All right, here we go. Please welcome Anatomical Intelligence.
Hi, so welcome to Anatomical Intelligence. It is a four-dimensional biomechanical education system to sustain musculoskeletal behavior change via a unique bone memory. We all know what muscle memory is. When we have muscle memory, it accelerates skill function and a lot of physical activities with ease. So I'd like to introduce you to Ray. Ray is the gentleman in the middle. He's a former NBA athlete, systems designer, and he's a prostate cancer survivor of 4 years with multiple urological procedures, including a prostate removal and 2 artificial sphincters. And all of this combined with his medications made walking just even 2 miles challenging. He also suffered from chronic incontinence and migraines, and also debilitating resignation and loss of self-esteem and lack of loneliness, really. So within the first week of using anatomical intelligence to help with his walking, which affected his, where I impacted his breathing and strengthened his feet, he was able to double his walk distance from 2 miles to 4 miles. He was also able to reduce his pad usage from 5 pads to 1 day. This really impacted his sociability. Within a month, he was able to increase his walk distance to 8 miles, that's a 400% improvement, and improve his speed by 30%. Also, his migraines, which occurred seasonally when the barometric weather created pressure, he would normally be bedridden for 3 days. But using tools to create space and rebalance the pressure in his brain, he was able to, and this is all non-meds, it is not meds, this is using a system of breathing and creating space and using the bones to reorganize the cranium. He was able to be active the next day. Within 3 months, he was able to play golf for the first time in 6 years, and was able to beat his friends, his competition in distance and accuracy on the back 9 holes, because the first 9 holes he played like somebody who hadn't played golf for 6 years, and then he remembered the anatomy cues that I had presented to him and was able to immediately apply them to the back 9. So they all got to witness, not only he got to witness it, his friend got to witness the dramatic change instantly. So the problem that occurs is that for the millions of people who undergo physical therapy post surgery, there is a lack of tools and education to optimize and sustain anatomical awareness and functional mobility post-surgery. Often the problem is that the exercises in PT are boring, they produce nominal results, and there is an extremely low compliance. Who does the homework assignments when they have PT? Yeah, for how long? A week? Yes. Yeah. So the basic reason being it interrupts a lot of your daily activity, and it's not engaging. And so the result is the recovery process is slow, and the possibility for repeat injuries or compensation injuries can be high. So with AI, what I've done is developed a system where to put the bones 3-dimensionally into the middle of the muscle mass, which reorganizes and strengthens large muscle groups and small muscle groups, and also the organs at the same time. Followed up by, once the bone is in the middle of the muscle mass, the ability to sustain that optimized position for the duration of any physical activity, be it combating pain relief or physical strength challenge, like if you need speed or endurance, is possible. And the experience is visceral, both on the physical level and then thus on the neurological level. So the reward benefit for Ray to be able to know what to do instantly it's really embedded because you practice constantly rather than. So to experience anatomical intelligence, it's really about putting the bones in the zone. And I've run out of time. Oh, I haven't run out of time. It's about putting the bones in the middle of the zone, and I would love to be able to show you that, but I don't have enough time. So basically the product is an educational program which for PTs, sports scientists and muscular researchers, and the program could then be applied to all the different levels of physical therapy and musculoskeletal research, which could then be applied to wearables and other, either to improve instruction or to track biometrics. And I've introduced it for music therapy. I have introduced it at the VA for pelvic floor therapy and workforce education. And the main difference being I teach people how to troubleshoot and sustain powerful adjustments in nanoseconds. So I have an adaptive client who has no feeling from the chest down. And the same tool that I use to create core strength to help Ray walk and increase his speed, he's able to feel what to do below his ribs, not only feel and activate his abdomen where he has never had feeling before, but with that movement of the spine, he's able to propel his wheelchair forward to help him
in his road races. It makes me want to cry. So PT, the spend on continuing education is about 400 million. So like Graston and dry needling and cupping, etc. Even Alexander treatment. My goal is to, in the next 3 to 5 years, have 15% market share with a team and some funding, of course. By providing 2 routes, the clinical route with certified trainings and certification, and then also with corporate wellness programs. The difference being with an AI wellness program is the measurable results. I've had participants who have done one workshop with me who can't sit for more than 5 minutes, and within a week can sit for 50 minutes because you don't know the power of the feet to create an actual physical cushion to lift you off your seat and lift the whole pelvic floor and upper thoracic off the chair and stop making your ass your foundation. So that's me. I'm an unlikely anatomy geek and pain hacker. I'm actually a shoe designer by trade. And now become, I don't know what that times 23 is, but now become a biomechanical systems innovator. And I need a lot of foundational help. Okay, question. Oh. Is that my question? Yeah.
I just had a question about, so every AI needs the data, so how are you feeding feeding the data and ensuring that you have the right outcome kind of thing?
How am I feeding the data and so how am I teaching the individual to experience the data? I have a system called AHA, where each participant has an AHA experience whilst they're doing the actual tools, and so that they have a visceral experience of improved performance, so that they can compare side by side with my system or somebody else's system, and I have a system for them to acknowledge what they've experienced. Does that make sense? So then it's quantifiable. Like I'll ask them, how long did they sit, how long they can sit, and so that sort of thing. That makes sense. I'm not a clinician. I'm not a data, but I ask them to physically verbalize and communicate the difference, and teaching people to actually physically communicate the different physical experience helps them with the data. Right? Yeah.
Or you're relying on subjective patient-reported outcomes?
Currently, at the moment, but I'm looking to do. Okay, so am I relying on patient-reported outcomes? Currently, at the moment, because it's use case studies, but my goal is working with the VA to do clinical results and to look for people who want to do clinical results.
One more question.
How many participants have you run in this part? Have they all been successful?
I've had about 50 to 60, so I used to just give tips ad hoc and have people come in, but I have 50 to 60 use case studies of range from 10 to 400% improvement in the next week or by the end of the month. So, but most people come to me with really chronic pains or really resigned with their physical performance. Ray, he's an athlete, CEO, really skeptical, nobody could teach him anything. So I really work on worst case scenarios.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anatomical Intelligence. Give us just a second to transition here.
Please welcome Embry Smart Insoles.
Hi, my name is Liana. I'm co-founder of HealthTech. So there's 1.6 billion overweight people in the world. That makes 1 out of 7 globally and 1 out of 3 in the US. $225 billion annually spent on weight management products, and 3.7 billion spent on physical activity trackers for weight loss. So what is the problem? Losing weight is no longer a problem, but maintaining the weight loss is where people struggle. 70% of people who lose weight within the next 1 to 2 years regain more weight than they lost originally. So why? We discovered the why. After running over 1,000 surveys, we realized that there's a lot of challenges that are common. Things like consistency, standing on the scale, recording, doing it every day, regularity, and so forth. So what we realized is that people need their personal device, a communication experience between their body and the weight. And to stop these yo-yo cycles, we've created Embry that will help with consistency in weighing and recording, and will help the weight gain stop, because weight gain happens slowly and unnoticed. So what does Embry Smart Insoles do? It's an insole that, patent pending insole that regularly tracks your weight on a daily basis and physical activity, and that helps maintain weight loss and lead healthy lives. So it combines 3 things: physical activity tracker, scale, and a coach, wellness insights. So at this point, we have an MVP. Here they are. You can see the insoles. We can later, pass it around and look at it. There's inside. You can see the device inside. So we've applied for utility patent pending, and up to date, like I said, we set up a funnel for basically $0 surveys that we've ran, and we've done over 70 potential consumer interviews in person. We've talked to dietitians. I'm a nutritionist myself with 14 years of experience. We approached many companies, weight loss, shoe, insole companies about the technology, and so far we have 100+ usability tests done. In terms of backers, we have 250 signups. Some of the key backers that we have is Alexis, the co-founder of Reddit, whom we met at WCAT, where we won first prize, and he ordered one, and he's also an investor into a shoe company that he's planning to introduce us to. We have Charles, who is CEO at Lose It, which is #1 weight loss app in the US, and it's done at Boston. And there's Hugh Moore, who are leading digital health companies. So these are the companies right now that we have warm conversations. They're excited about the technology and looking forward to trying our insoles. There's some shoe and insole companies, things like gyms, fitness, 24-hour, Gamers Rock, Lose It, like I said, and there's few distribution channels that we're currently talking. In terms of founding team, my co-founder Sarkis and I have been working together for 9 years in engineering and design background. And I myself, like I said, I'm a nutritionist with 14 years experience and 10 years in business development. We also have 5 engineers on the team, hardware and software, and 2 data science and researchers. In terms of advisory board, we have researchers and professors from MIT, Georgia Tech. We have also from Stanford, a behavioral scientist who's been helping us with data research and user customer development, as well as a patents attorney from Dell. Up to date, to reach our vision, so far we've raised $375K, and this last WCIT we won another $25K, so it makes 400 equal, out of which 100K is grants, 300 were raised by either angels, and we have 2 VCs, Index Ventures and SmartGate VC, who have also invested. Our next milestone is $1.5 million round, which we're planning to spend on production automation and market fit. So with the vision, our vision is really to turn shoe into a medical device. So this is in 15 years, where our first target is really diabetes and obesity prevention tool. So imagine the future. Like every smartphone has a built-in camera, every shoe will have built-in Embry. Thank you, I'm looking forward to your questions. Yes, please.
So how do you compare your technology with what Apple Watch and like other companies like Fitbit are providing?
Super. So the question is, how do we compare with ourselves with Fitbit and iWatch and so forth? So the first innovation and differentiation is the weight. So there's nothing on the market currently that tracks weight. That's number one. Number two, we're underfoot, so we're much more accurate, and we track more things than a Fitbit or a watch can. And like we say, you can forget to wear your watch, physical activity tracker, stand on the scale, but you'll never forget to wear your shoes. Yes?
How do you make the difference between grease and muscle? Because they don't have the same weight, and one that has muscle will have a higher weight.
Yes, absolutely. So this is a little bit more nutrition question. So how do we know the difference between muscle weight and the water weight and the fat weight? That's a good question. So there's some things that we'll be using in the app, for example, like BMI and level of activity. So we were able to understand how fit the person is, and we also will ask them to do tape measurements on some parts of the body, and we'll kind of revisit that. And this is how we know, if the person is losing weight, if it's a muscle or if it's water, number one. Number two, further we plan to expand, like I said, we plan to become a medical device where we'll be getting to heart rate as well as body mass composition. So that will be more accurate at that point. Yes?
Sorry, what is the battery life, source of energy for this and the battery life for this?
Yeah, so there's a battery right now that it's a rechargeable battery. We have hold on just a second, I'll show you. So the battery basically, we have to recharge it once a week.
Once a week?
Yeah, and this is the charger that you just put inside the shoe, and it charges, and then you have to recharge the device. This device right here, the battery. And it lasts for up to 2 years.
Quick question, a follow-up question.
Yes.
Have you thought about when children jump on the pad, the electricity bumps up kind of thing, it gets generated? Have you thought about that technology?
Absolutely. It's
ever charge it again kind of thing?
Yeah. The question was if we're thinking about other ways of recharging and never charging batteries. For sure, it's definitely a part of our R&D, trying to understand if we can, and we've started already a little bit on that, like basically self-charging shoes, self-charging batteries. So it's possible, it's just time and money.
Amazing idea.
Yeah.
How much does it cost, and do you have to transfer the insole to other shoes?
Yeah, currently these are insoles so that you can buy many of these and just move the device because it moves. You can remove it, and right now the sales volume is low because we're just out of lab and about to run an alpha launch on West Coast, so they're around $300. Yes.
Is the device like water resistant? So you mentioned wearing shoes in the accident puddle, or you're in a situation where you're in water.
Yeah. So if it's the question is if the device is water resistible. At this moment, not really, because it's really inside the insole and there's leather all over, so it's pretty waterproof in that sense. And if the shoe is waterproof, then you're all set. But it's something we're thinking about. Yes. Yes, please.
How big is the heel with the size of it, or how would that impact your posture, the way you strengthen and run?
Absolutely. So basically right now the way it works is if you remove your current insoles of the shoe and just put this inside, it's totally fine. We do have, a consultant, a doctor who we work with, and our next version is going to be an orthopedic version of this. Yes, please.
So I feel like this is a really dumb question, but already 2 devices or just one? Like one on each foot or just one for one?
The patent is actually, it's only under 1 foot, under one area, under your heel, so it's just one. The second one has a dummy inside. At this moment later, we'll be adding more technology to it, yeah.
So is there an app on the phone to communicate with this or is the product itself?
Yes, there's an app that exists that connected through a Bluetooth, and you get all the data through an application.
I see. All in the contract.
Yes. I'm happy.
One more question, go ahead.
How does it work with insurance reimbursement, et cetera? What's your plan for that?
Currently, you know, it's one of our partners and something that we can think about for sure, but at this moment, we're just not there yet. But absolutely, it's one of the ways to go further.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Embry. Give us just a moment here. Okay, please welcome Bento.
Thank you guys for sticking around this long. We're excited to show you a little bit about Bento. My name is Landon Lemoine. I am the VP of Growth at Bento, and we're just going to start with a simple problem and solution that we believe we've solved, at least in everyone's favorite category, dental. So let's kick it off. So Bento had one goal in the beginning, and it applies to every single person in this room and actually every American across the country. We want people to stop paying for benefits that you don't use. Pretty simple problem. So what we know today is that companies, individuals, employers, again, individuals around the country have been paying more than they need for decades, and dental is actually the biggest offender in this country. So let's do the math. Dental insurance isn't actually insurance. The way it works is with health, auto, life, you pay your premiums every month up to a certain amount, and if something catastrophic happens, right, your insurance is supposed to cover you. Dental works the opposite. You're still going to pay your premiums every month, but with the way dental plans are structured and work, you have something called an annual maximum. Once you hit that max, everything else comes right out of your pocket. On top of that, every dental plan's got limitations. You can only get, a service every year. You can only get up to X. It's only going to cover 50%, etc. So, in theory, you actually need to pay about $3,000 to get $1,500 in a benefit out of your pocket. So, the question is, why does anyone get dental insurance? Like, why is it a big thing? It's $1 billion industry. Actually, $250 billion is the dental industry. And the main reason is you want to receive the discounts and negotiated rates, what these big providers have done. So you purchase insurance companies and you purchase their plans. That has now changed. So with Bento, we've allowed every individual and company of any size to pay as you go for dental. What does that mean? Pay as you go versus status quo. So today, if you look at the bottom right there, with traditional insurance, an individual employer, they're paying premiums. The premiums are then used for services when they go in, and we all know where do those premiums go when you pay them? With an insurance company. There's a reason why some of the biggest buildings in every city is typically your insurance. With pay as you go, you as the individual or the employer only pay when services are needed. Any extra you get to keep. Simple as that. So what Bento has done is we have built an end-to-end patient-centric solution that allows any group to initial enrollment, appointment, all the way through payment. So I'm going to just jump back here. We've got 3 experiences. So we've obviously worked extensively with our network of dentists to provide all of our members the discounts across the country. Of course, the member experience is what we want to describe as dental in 2019 and 2020. And then, of course, on our employer side, it's important that they're connected. If they have employers, if they've got already fully insured dental plans, they can use this as well. And again, this is just a little representation of how it works. Our HIPAA protected cloud is using AI to manage claims, mitigate mitigate risk management and instantly adjudicate any claims and or procedures that come in. What does that mean for you as the user? It means a couple things. One is that as a Bento member, you have access to over 272,000 dentists across the country already today. We have one of the fastest growing networks in the country, and our network team is constantly building our network based on where our members are at or which dentist they would like to go to. Another part is, because this is technology based, there aren't any state boundaries. You don't have to live in Massachusetts and have Delta Dental of Atlanta. It doesn't matter. Any Bento member can go to any Bento dentist around the country. All right. And as far as the member experience, number one priority for us, we want the most modern, seamless, transparent experience that we can with our members, and this is what it looks like. Everything from your ID, real-time plan usage, full transparency, know exactly what you're going to owe before you go to the dentist, after, and everything is paid in real time. No more waiting for pre-authorizations, dealing with your insurance company. It's all going to happen live right there on the phone. So I'm going to stop there, and we have got a short little video for you guys, and then I will take questions.
Introducing Bento, dental benefits that are transparent, affordable, and clear from appointment to payment. Traditional insurance has only gotten more complicated. With Bento, you are now a lifetime member, so you'll always pay less for your dental care with complete dental portability. Bento members experience oral care transparency in the palm of their hands. Modern dental care that is revolutionizing the way we experience benefits. Bento works at all licensed dental providers. Never wait for pre-treatment approvals and enjoy complete price transparency on every bill. Know what you owe ahead of time with full price transparency and check the cost of services in your area with Bento Price Check. Choose a provider from over 272,000 dental access points and enjoy the portability of your entire dental life in one app. Your employer is now offering Bento as your dental plan. Your plan is fully digitized with real-time benefit usage, family management, itemized digital receipts, and quick access to your plan documents. Use Bento at any licensed dental provider nationwide and get the best rates when you use a Bento dentist. Want better rates at your dentist? Let us know by requesting them in the app. Our providers are approved in minutes and work directly through our dentist portal. Modern dental care has arrived with Bento. To get started, download the Bento Dental app today.
And that is it. Thank you guys so much. Questions?
Can you just explain a little bit about how the patient pays for the service? How does it all work?
Yep, so there's two models here. There's one where there's an employer involved and one where there isn't. So if the employer is involved, Bento is going to pay the dentist directly from the employer based on the plan that's put in place. So that will happen at the time of appointment. The dentist will go in, they add the service to that patient, one click, and the money is automatically moving based on that. If there is an individual, so if there's anybody in this room that doesn't have dental, download the app, and now you have every discounted rate at every provider in Boston that you can have. These rates are going to go 20%, 30% lower than what you get if you didn't have it. And in that case, you as the patient would pay only those discounted rates out of pocket, the same way you're doing today, at any of those providers.
When you're working with employers, is there a fixed cost that the employers are paying to be part of this network, or are they paying essentially a portion of that?
Yep, great question. So we're a SaaS company, so we just charge $5 per member per month that the employers will pay. And we're still seeing, on average, around 20 to 25% savings when they're switching from a traditional dental plan over to Bento. Well, insurance
What's the
companies.
question?
Oh yeah, the question was, what's the feedback we've been getting from dentists and insurance companies? So feedback from dentists is great. There's no more barriers for them to understand exactly how much the plan's going to pay, how much they're going to get paid, and of course, hitting one button and then that transaction financially happening. So we don't charge anything for our dentists to join our network, so the feedback has been pretty well received. I think from a insurance perspective, feedback's a little bit different. They've got a lot of people that do a lot of things, and it's very tough to streamline some of these legacy businesses that have done the same thing for decades, and pretty profitable doing it.
How much is the monthly premium for like individual without the employer sponsorship?
So there is no concept of premium for an individual without an employer. So they're just paying as you go. So you don't pay anything until you actually go to the dentist, and then you pay that negotiated rate again without an employer right to the dentist at that time. You can think of it as an automatic discount card, but there aren't any fees to participate in that program.
I see. For example, if you do root canal procedures, regular, I think it costs about $500. As an individual without a policy or a plan, how much do you pay?
So if you're an individual without an employer giving it, then you would pay whatever the rate is that we've negotiated, which is again around 20% less than that price you just mentioned. And you can download the app right now and take advantage of that.
20% discount.
Correct.
So where are you in the process of building up this company?
Yep. So we're based in Boston, right in Government Center. We've got about 15 employees. We've been around for about 2 years. So today we've got about 6,000 members, paying members right now in the area, and then as I mentioned, about 200,000 dentists across the country right now.
What is the ask? Do you need
Yes. So we don't have an ask at this meeting. We are raising money. We obviously want to make sure to come in and show you guys what we're doing. But I think what we're looking for right now in the market is strategic help across the board to expose us to either more employers, more providers, and more individuals across the board, and the New England market as a whole.
Do dentists make less money than they would through normal insurance?
Great question. The question was, do dentists make less money with us than they would? So the answer is no. So the fee schedules that we negotiate with them are actually at the same exact rates as a Delta Dental, MetLife, Blue Cross Blue Shield. So as long as they accept traditional insurance carriers, they would accept our fees as well. We're not going any lower than what's already out in the market.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How can we invest?
Thanks to Bento. We will have more time for networking, but just a couple things as we wrap up here. So our next showcase for startups is going to be focused on AR and VR startups on January 13th at PTC in Boston, actually right here in the Seaport, just a couple blocks down the street here. So I hope you guys can make that event. We also have a 50K network celebration coming up this week on Wednesday with B2B networking, and that will be at the Yard, our headquarters in Back Bay. So I hope you can join us for that as well. And we can stay in network until, well, we can stay for about another half hour or so. So please do, if you can, network with some of the founders here. And I guess I'd just like to wrap this all up with a great round of applause for all these awesome founders, and as well as Foley Hoag. So thank you all for coming, and we hope to see you again soon.